A. Hakodate is a small port city at the southern tip of Hokkaido where the seaford is still moving, the cobblestone streets photograph themselves, and the night view from the mountain is the kind of thing Japan puts on its official list. 3 days here is enough to eat extremely well. See a star-shaped fortress from above, and soak in a hot spring 5 minutes from your departure gate, as long as you time the big moments right. I mapped out the whole 3-day route into a template you can grab. Links in the description. Hakodate rewards every season differently. Cherry blossoms over the Star Fort in May, cool harbor air in summer, fiery maples in November, or snow on the cobblestones and a hot spring waiting at the end of the day. Day 1 is Squid at Dawn, a cobblestone slope that frames the bay like a painting, and then the city from above at night, which is the whole reason most people come to Hakodate in the first place. Hakodate Morning Market sits right next to the train station, roughly 250 stalls and tiny restaurants dealing in crab, sea urchin, and the city's signature catch, squid. The thing to know is that this is a real working fish market, not a tourist construct. The squid on your plate is the local economy. One specific restaurant, Ikatai Tabiji, serves the dancing squid rice bowl. Soy sauce hits the tentacles and they writhe. It sells out by midday. Get there by 7, bring cash, and walk the aisles before you commit to a stall, because some of them charge tourist prices for the same crab you'll find cheaper 2 rows over. From the market, you climb into Motomachi, the old foreign consulate district, and the standout is Hachimanzaka, a stone-paved slope that runs straight downhill to the bay. It's one of Japan's most photographed streets, because the cobblestones and the vanishing point framing do all the compositional work for you. You just point the camera. Late afternoon is when it clicks, golden hour light hits the stones and the water opens up below as you walk down. A couple of the parallel slopes, Morozika and Daisanzaka, give you nearly the same look with almost nobody around. Worth knowing because Hachimanzaka itself gets tight with tour groups. Hakodate's main event. The ropeway takes you up Mount Hakodate to look down on a city squeezed between 2 bodies of water, the Tsugaru Strait and Hakodate Bay, and at night that thin strip of land glows like dropped jewelry. The shape is what makes it. From above, the city looks like a string of lights laid on black velvet, and that geographic profile is genuinely unique among Japanese city overlooks. Right up before sunset, so you watch the transition from golden hour into full darkness. The view changes minute by minute, and going too late means missing the best part. Check the live visibility before you head to the base station, because fog rolls in fast here, and a whiteout summit is an expensive gondola ride to a wall of nothing. Day 2 is Hakodate's History Day, a star-shaped fortress you walk through from the inside, a tower that finally reveals the shape, and century-old warehouses on the bay to close it out. Goryokaku Park is a massive star-shaped Western-style fort built in 1864, Japan's first, surrounded by a moat, and now used as a public park with walking paths along the ramparts. This is where the last battle of the Boshin War ended in 1869, effectively closing the samurai era. The history is real, and the fort's designer modeled it on European military architecture. From inside the park, you can't see the star shape at all. It just feels like a pleasant green loop with a moat. That's fine because the tower next door is the reveal. Walk the moat path clockwise for the best angles on the walls, and if you're here in May, the cherry blossoms lining the banks turn the whole thing pink. Goryokaku Tower stands 107 meters tall right outside the fort because the whole point is looking straight down at the star you just walked through. The elevator zips you up and the view hits immediately, a 5-pointed star outlined by water, framed by city grid and mountains. Snow on the moat in winter actually makes the shape even sharper. You can buy discounted tickets at any 7-Eleven in town beforehand, which saves you the ticket counter queue and gets you a small discount. The tower itself doesn't do advance reservations. The observation deck has exhibits on the Boshin War and the Battle of Hakodate, which is the last stand of the samurai. And yes, the cafe sells star-shaped gelato because of course it does. Kanemori Red Brick Warehouse sits on the bayfront. 4 connected buildings from 1909 that survived as a trading port relic, while most Japanese cities demolished theirs. A merchant named Kumashiro Watanabe built these to store goods moving through one of Japan's first international ports. He was one of the 4 heavenly kings of Hakodate, which is a real local title, not marketing. Evening is when it comes alive. The brick facades glow warm under lights, the quay reflects in the water, and the whole thing feels like a wind down that was designed by accident. Just know that shops start closing around 19,000, so if you want the beer hall inside the History Plaza wing, get there by 18,000, or you'll be staring through locked doors at a very nice interior. Day 3 leaves the city behind, a volcanic lake with over 100 tiny islands in the morning, and a hot spring soak near the airport before you fly home. Onuma Quasi-National Park is a 30-minute train ride from Hakodate Station, and it feels like a different country, a lake created by a volcanic eruption, dotted with 126 small islands linked by footbridges. Most of those islands are just a few trees on a rock, but the cumulative effect is a lake that looks archipelagic. Mount Kamagatake's volcanic cone looms behind it all, and on a calm morning it reflects perfectly in still water. 3 hours is enough to walk the main circuit at a comfortable pace, because you cover the bridges between islands on foot and rent a bicycle at the visitor center if you want more range. The name Quasi-National Park sounds like a consolation prize, but it's an official Japanese designation for landscapes of national significance. The lake earned its place, even if the label undersells it. Yunokawa Onsen is one of Hokkaido's 3 great hot spring districts, and it sits 5 minutes from the airport. So the last thing you do in Hakodate can be soaking in an open-air bath before your flight. The springs have been drawing people since 1653, when a Matsume clan lord was reportedly cured of illness here. The Ainu named it Hot Water River centuries before that. Many ryokan offer day-use private baths you can book online through the Unabura website. Book at least a day ahead, because walk-in options are limited and some places don't offer them at all during peak season. Between December and May, the adjacent botanical garden has snow monkeys soaking in their own hot spring, which is either a bonus or the main event depending on your priorities. Hakodate is a city that punches well above its size. Dancing squid, a mountain night view that Japan officially ranks, and a hot spring next to the departure gate. Not many places nail all 3. The full 3-day route with every stop pinned on a map is in the template, links in the description and the pinned comment, and you can drag things around to match your own pace. If you've been to Hakodate and I missed your favorite spot, drop it in the comments. I genuinely like to know what people find on a second visit.